Daenerys Targaryen. She says she is the mother of dragons. But would you trust her with your kids? Her father was a maniac. She palled around with Dothraki terrorists. She asked the city of Karth for a government bailout. Then she lost 3 baby dragons after placing them in an unlocked wooden box. An unlocked wooden box. This Khaleesi wants to be queen of the 7 kingdoms, but can she be trusted? Daenerys Targaryen. Wrong for dragons. Wrong for the realm. Paid for by the Committee to Protect Dragons.
We don't know anything about him.
He was never really vetted.
Is he really the true-born son of Robert Baratheon?
All over the 7 kingdoms, people are asking the same question. Who is the real King Joffrey? The people of Westeros are hurting. Winter is coming. Crop yields are falling, and the price of fuel is going up.
The cost of peat moss is through the thatched roof.
And this young and inexperienced king takes advice from a whoremongering imp and has launched an illegal war in the north. What is King Joffrey hiding? This is not our kind of family values. King Joffrey. What a bastard.
What a bastard.
Paid for by the young Baratheons for freedom. Robb Stark. He's the biggest celebrity in the North. But his father was a traitor. He arrested his own mother. His bastard brother deserted the Night's Watch. And he couldn't defend his own castle. Worst of all, Robb Stark hasn't stopped the wildlings from invading our lands and taking our jobs. He even has an illegal alien for a nanny. And now he wants to be king in the North? King? Some people say he's really a wolf. Some people say he eats dead people. We can't wait until it's too late. Send a raven to Winterfell now and tell Robb Stark to go back home. Stop eating dead people and defend the damn wall. This ad paid for by Crossbows GPS.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
When you can't find anything to watch on cable, you get bored. When you get bored, you listen to radio cooking shows. When you listen to radio cooking shows, you invite a friend over for dinner. When you invite a friend over for dinner, you use twice as many beans. When you use twice as many beans, you expel deadly farts that kill your friend's dog. When you kill your friend's dog, your friend becomes unstable. When your friend becomes unstable, you're sued for everything you're worth. When you're sued for everything you're worth, you're thrown to the streets. When you're thrown to the streets, you devote your life to world domination. When you devote your life to world domination, you become an evil fascist overlord. When you become an evil fascist overlord, old friends plot their revenge. When old friends plot their revenge, you are shot in the back of the head. And when you're shot in the back of the head, you miss your jazzercise appointment. Don't miss your jazzercise appointment. Upgrade to Indirect TV. Go online or call 1-800-ERECT-TV.
Millions of Americans every day are shedding unwanted pounds by taking tested and proven Ultra Lipo Stick. Carbohydrates are bad. Our carbo-fighting antioxidant is good. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My name is Gail, and I lost like 20 pounds on Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Jared, and I lost 46 pounds using Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Zach, and I actually gained weight. This stuff sucks!
Ultra Lipo Stick is safe and easy to inject. Just 3 doses 4 times a day, discreetly underneath your fingernail. Listen to this.
I used Ultra Lipo Stick and suffered from side effects like uncontrollable greasy discharge.
Ultra Lipo Stick, it turned the armpits of all of my shirts orange. This stuff is crap.
Try it today and see some real results. Ultra Lipo Stick. Not available in stores. Results may vary.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Well, hello, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yes, I did check again today, as I do almost every day. It is Friday, May the 15th in the year of our Lord 2015, which means for most of us, many of us, it is the last day before the weekend. And many of you get to enjoy your weekend. The number, by the way, that you can call is 603-835-3224. That's toll free at 603-835-3224. Just about anything on your mind goes today. That's what Free for All Fridays are all about. Coming soon, folks. I got a couple announcements, and well, you know what? I'm just going to bring it out right now. At the end of the month, I do believe it is May 29th. And if you are attached to me on any of my social media sites, accounts, you will see this over the next week. But on May 29th, yours truly will be hosting an hour-long radio talk magazine. Now, it will be completely different from this program. And you're probably thinking, well, how and why would it be different? Well, because the program is completely geared around doing half-hour and hour-long interviews with people of some renown and some note. It could be a politician, it could be an author, it could be a business person, it could be a community leader, not like Obama, but and it'll run the gamut from right to left, left to right, center. If you can just picture for yourself for a minute, a Sunday morning, the Sunday morning program. If you've never watched it, is it on NBC? I think it's NBC. But it's called, Sunday Morning. So if you think of that show, this is the direction that we're going with this in a magazine type of format, audio magazine type of format. Well, understand, I will not be asking the soft questions, or at least not just the soft questions. There's going to be hard questions for a lot of people who come on the show, and I want to gain that kind of reputation that I will be fair, but I won't take any BS. I just want people to understand that. I will be fair, but I won't take any BS. And I think it's going to be because we are lining up people as we speak. And I have a fantastic agent on the job for handling the guest for that show. And from what I understand, we are booked out 2 months solid already. We haven't even started. So I can only imagine that once we get started, if it appeals like I think it will appeal to people, then we'll be booked out far, far greater. Now, understand, I'm taking a risk here because I'm going out on a limb and doing something totally different. You can't always stay in your comfort zone. Somebody came to me with this idea of doing this type of a morning show or a type of weekly program. It's only going to be once a week, every Friday morning. And they came to me with the idea of doing this type of program. And I got to tell you, at first, I was not on board. Because I felt, what I needed to do was focus on this show, this program, the Rod Eccles Show. I needed to go full bore, and I was only going to be distracted. I mean, I was looking at all the interviews I was doing and other things that were coming up, and it's just another thing for me to do. By the way, a slight digression. If you haven't heard, Captain America's morning radio program has asked me, and I've agreed to be a regular weekly contributor to their morning program. Yes, I will be on at like at 5 or is it 5 or 5:30? I can't remember. Every Tuesday morning, a.m. Eastern time. Yeah. I'm getting actually. The last time I got up that early, it was I did hear some birds, so I'm not up before the birds are singing, but most birds are still asleep at that hour, but but he has a very large audience, and I am very honored that he's interviewed me twice on his program, and he thought enough of me to ask me to become a permanent weekly contributor to his program. I'm very honored, as I'm honored to have been asked to anchor this new program for an hour every week. As I said, at first I wasn't on board. And then, people that I care about, that I confide in, we kind of molded over a little bit. We thought about it. And then we realized, this could be something totally different from what I'm doing now. A complete complement to the Rod Eccles Show. It won't be competing with this show, for this program at all. But it will be a complement to this program. And it'll give me some inside knowledge that I might not otherwise get, especially for this program. So those are some of the things that are happening behind the scenes. Because, a lot of times people don't see the growth of something because it's not out front, or there's other branches of it. But this is all due to you people actually paying attention and listening. And because, frankly, it doesn't matter how good somebody thinks I am. If nobody listens, that's what counts. And the point is that you're listening, and the audience is growing. So, even if I kind of suck, as long as you're listening, that's what counts. But anyway, so we have that, but it's going to be called Rod's Liberty Cafe. So you're going to want to have you're going to be at work on Friday. Most people that work, the Monday through Friday shift, the 7 to 3:30, the 8:30 to 5, what have you. You're going to be able to hear this. I do believe the time frame is 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So it'll be, you just get your cup of coffee at your desk, and join the Liberty Cafe starting, I do believe the date is May 29th. That is a Friday, right? Yeah. Because Sunday is the end of the month is on a Sunday, 31st. So 29th of May. Further details about what station to tune in to be able to listen will be coming to you next week. So pay attention. And don't forget to go over to rodeccles.net. Yes, there's going to be a different and separate website for the Liberty Cafe, as on Facebook, if you get a request, there's going to be a group page for that as well on Facebook. There will not be a separate Twitter account. I can't keep up with all of this, guys. Really, seriously. I mean, I like to think of myself as superhuman, but I'm not Superman. I cannot do it all. And my plate is rather full. But the funny thing about a busy person is somebody once told me, if you ever want to get something done and done right the first time and done as quickly as it possibly can get done, ask a busy person. Ask somebody to do it who says they don't have any more time to do anything else. If you ask them to do it and they take it on, it will get done exactly the way you want it to get done, under budget and within the time frame that you want it done, with great results. And, you know, I look back on my life and I found that to be absolutely true. Absolutely. You know, if you, because where do people go if they want a product or a service? What product or service do you usually buy? You usually buy a product or service that you know is a good product or service because a lot of people buy it. So if you want a painter, you know, to come paint your house, what painter do you usually want to get? You want the painter who's painted all your friends' houses. You want the painter who says, yeah, this is April. You're calling him in April and says, I cannot possibly get to you until September because I'm booked up until then. That's the guy you want. That's the painter you want. You want the one who's always busy. You want the one because they're good. You want the ones who are good, and the good ones are always busy. If you want an employee to do something for your company, and you want the best possible action or result for that particular thing in your company, you're probably should ask one of the most busy employees in your organization. Why are they so? You're probably saying, but they're busy. But why are they busy? They're busy because they're good. That's the point. They're good at what they do. So if you want a carpenter, it doesn't matter if it's a trade or if it's a profession. You want somebody good, the best you can afford, to do whatever you need to have done. But the one criteria, one way that you find out who the best is how busy they are. And usually those who are the busiest are the best at their craft because everybody wants them. That's why they're so busy. So the whole notion of, you know, find the busy person to do what you want to get done, and they'll get done on time, under budget, with A+ results. And I look around and I believe that is to be fully the truth. And I know some people are saying, well, we're probably not going to be calling any of our politicians to do anything. And you're absolutely freaking right about that. I don't think we'll be calling many of our politicians to do much. Anyway, folks, it is, well, I should say, I almost said Fast and Furious Friday, but, Free for All Friday. Where just about, any subject is up. It's a little bit lighter program on Fridays that we have here on the Rod Eccles Show, simply because, we want to go into, I try to keep things more lighthearted in order to ease us into the weekend so we can celebrate our liberty and our freedom. And I've done that for a very long time. I think I started doing that way back in the beginning. And for those of you who are tuning in, this is new to you. This program is new to you. Understand, I have been doing this in audio form on the air since 2009. I have been doing this as far as writing and blogging about such stuff like this since 1998. So, yeah, I'm not really new to the game on this. I'm not really new. You may just be finding out about me for a number of reasons. Most of that is due, like I said, when you find somebody that you can get to work for you that's good at what they do, you hold on to them. You do. You keep them. Why else would you ever notice how it's really rare that a good, solid employee, outside of corporate politics, a good, solid employee who brings in business, it's rare that they get fired. It does happen. I can contest that it happened to me. Back in the early 90s, there was a company that I worked for called PageMart. Now, some of you will remember, pagers used to be the cell phones of the 90s. Well, and the two biggest companies or players in the market were PageMart and PageNet. PageNet was number one. PageMart was number two. Except in this area of New England where I am, PageMart was number one, mostly because the three salespeople that worked in the Boston office, including myself, we kicked ass. That's why PageMart in the greater Boston area was number one. But I was a number one salesperson in the office, top 10 on the East Coast. And yet, when we got a new manager, because we did so well in this office that our manager got promoted, and they brought in a new manager who was a copier salesperson and manager, came in, and he fired me. Yeah, top 10 East Coast territory, number one in the Boston office. I get fired. Office politics. That's all it is. But outside of that, you never let go of the best that you have. You never let go. Because that's, but unfortunately, we don't, you know what the problem is? I think I have figured out the problem with politics and the American people. Now, you have to understand, the American people, we are a great nation because of the people. We're a great people. We're friendly. Generally speaking, we're friendly. We're caring. And we really do love, we see all these stories and pieces and commentary about how much Americans love war. Now, actually, we don't. We don't love war. We loathe it. We hate it. We try to stay out of it as much as possible. Even when we realize that it's nearly impossible for us to stay out, we still want to stay out of the war. We always, but we don't hesitate to pick up arms if somebody really is going to attack us, if they're really going to threaten our way of life. But America has a very long-fused temper. We're not quick to wrath. It is unusual for us to strike back at somebody in a very quick fashion. Now, small skirmishes, yeah, you do this, and Reagan, boom, we'll go in, bang, you're done. Bush, they found out, what terrorists were involved in it. Boom, 9/11, boom, take you out. Yes, we're very good at that. But if you notice, it takes a lot for us to get that ticked off, that we go after you like that. It takes a lot for the American people, generally speaking, to get ticked off like that, to want to go after you and have your head. You can't really say that about a lot of other, not every country on the planet, but a lot of other countries are a lot more quick to the trigger than the United States is. So we are a grand people when it comes to loving others, caring about us. We're the most generous nation on the planet. Americans, by far and large, donate a bigger portion of their private income to charities than any other nation on the planet. The UN even recognizes that. And for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, that's United Nations. There is no country that is more generous than the United States. There isn't one. And even though, half the countries in the UN hate the United States, they fully understand and realize not only are we the ones with the money, but we're also the ones that are most generous with that money. So they love to hate us, and they hate loving us. Plain and simple. But we also expect excellence. from all of this stuff that we do. Look, we settled the frontier. We didn't do it half-heartedly because you wouldn't survive if you tried doing it half-heartedly. You had to go all out. It was full success, success or bust. In order to be successful or bust, you could not accept anything less than the best. Your best effort, your best employee, whatever it is. We celebrate the best. Look at sports. Even in the entertainment business, they've got award ceremony after award ceremony to try to show who's the best. We look forward to, we uplift those who we consider to be the best. We look for excellence. Except when it comes to two particular areas in this country, which I cannot figure out why they're the exception. You expect the best. If you buy a car, you want the best possible car you can buy for the money that you have, that you can afford. You want hands down. You're not going to say, well, I'm going to settle for No, you're not going to settle for second best. You are looking for the best car that you can possibly afford. Now, if you can afford, let's say a Mercedes, you're probably not going to go out. For whatever reason, you're probably not going to go out and buy a Hyundai Elantra, or a Suzuki, whatever. You're not going to do that because you want to be able to get the best that you can possibly afford. Now, if you can't afford that Mercedes, but you can only afford, a Ford, Chevy, or Chrysler, that's what you're going to do. You're going to be looking for the best you possibly can afford. You're going to do everything you can not to compromise. But we in this country seem to compromise in two very important and specific areas. We don't expect our best in these two specific yet very crucial and important areas. Politics and education. And I can't for the life of me figure out why that is. Why would we skimp on education? And why would we skimp on our politicians? I know some people are out there saying, well, Rod, we vote for these people and they end up doing something that we don't want them to do. But the point is that we do not expect them to do anything but be criminals or crooks or crooked and lying thieves. We don't, because we won't elect somebody who's not. Think about it. The reason why some people do not run for office, or if they do run, they don't get very far, is because they do not tell you what you want to hear. They tell you the truth and they're not ashamed to tell you. They're not scared to tell you. But we don't elect them. I would not get elected because I would tell you the truth, even if it's something you didn't want to hear. I'm kind of an a-hole that way. I do not compromise. I don't compromise for anything on anybody. Period. I only expect the best that I can afford. If I can't afford it, well, yeah, then I have to accept something lesser. But I can afford to go out there and vote and find the best possible candidate for a political office. Why wouldn't I? But the vast majority of us, for whatever reason, maybe it's just because we've become so cynical about it, but we do not do that. We no longer expect the best. And when we do get the best that comes along, most of the time we don't believe it. And if we do believe it, then, we're kind of like, well, they're not going to win anyway. And indeed they don't, because they tell us things that we don't want to hear. Probably in a manner, in a way in which we're not going to be receptive to it. Which is why I would never get elected, because I would not stoop to the level of telling you what you want to hear if it isn't the truth. Plain and simple. So we've got to learn how to, well, not learn, but we've just got to bring up our expectations into politics, and in education like we do for the rest of our lives. Because That's what's going to save the country, not settling.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
Rod Eccles Show.
603-835-3224. Join me live on the Rod Eccles Show this free-for-all Friday. Right here. Join me while, I'm sitting here in the Freedom Throne behind the Freedom mic in the bunkerized home studio. And hey, speaking of freedom, look, let me close out what I was saying last segment. Now, expecting the best does not mean that you're expecting perfection. And indeed, anybody who knows me knows that I am not perfect. But I have high standards. And I know what I want. I know how to get what I want. And that's something that attracts a lot of people. I learned that early on working for others. I had a boss. His name was Larry. Now, I cannot remember Larry's last name, but it was let me put it this way, a scummy sales job. One of those sales jobs that it was working for a Kodak company. Now, what they did is you actually went into people's homes and you tried to sell them photographic packages. They were wildly overpriced. Yes, they were wildly overpriced. But it's kind of like, when you American Frozen Foods, and they come in to sell you the frozen food plan, they also try to toss in, these wonderfully overpriced, cookware set and freezer and, chest freezer and a bunch of other stuff that's supposed to help you get the best taste out of the wonderful, high-quality frozen foods. Now, the frozen foods might be actually worth the money, the price, but the other stuff is I've always thought and felt that they were overpriced. Well, this was no different. This Kodak package, which was not sold directly by Kodak, but by this company that basically sold Kodak stuff, it was overpriced. And I remember one time I was having an issue with it, and Larry took me aside and said, look, you've got to get the best out of yourself and forget what everybody else thinks. That if you believe in this or anything else, and you want to be the best or at the top of your game with what you're in, then you really do have to believe that what you have to offer is the best. Because people will see through BS. They'll see through it. And they won't buy from you. You have to genuinely believe. He said to me, do you believe that this product, this service that we're offering, is the best of its kind out there? Now, I looked him straight in the eye and said, yes. Now, here's the problem with that, though. It's not that I didn't believe him, but because it was the only product or service like that I knew of at the time. So, yeah, I wasn't lying when I said, well, yeah, this is the best. I didn't follow it up by saying, well, it's the only one. I didn't know of any others. And then later on, yeah, there were others, like it's the Sears Portrait Studio and other places. But I didn't know of any others. So I believe that this was this is kind of good. So after that talk that I had with that manager, Larry, I began to be able to sell, because I went 2 weeks without selling a damn thing. But after that talk, the next 3 out of the 4 people that I saw, and I remember that I was a 75% closer at that particular point. That's what every salesperson wants to be. They want to be a 75% closer. That's the minimum. And I made that 75% closing ratio when out of the next 4 appointments I had over 2 nights, I sold 3 packages. I was a 75% closer after that talk. And that changes your mindset. Because you actually have to believe in something. So I don't know how we can go out and, vote for people that we don't believe in. And I know some people are going to be saying, well, Rod, didn't you just say last night that you got to go out there and you got to participate and you got to vote? Yes, you do. But in order to get the people that you really believe in, you have to understand how the whole thing works. You have to not be willing to settle for anything that less than the best that you can afford. And when it comes to a politician, you have to accept the best that is available. Even if you're, hey, look, this is how I put it. Let's just say Rand Paul doesn't get the nomination, but Jeb Bush does. Well, you are still having to vote for the best you possibly can, the best you can, that the best person out there that you can afford. And evidently, we couldn't afford Ron Paul, so he wasn't the nominee, but we can afford George or Jeb Bush if he's the nominee. That's who you vote for president. You don't sit your butt at home and accept, because when you sit at home, you're accepting mediocrity. You're accepting the fact that, politicians don't have to be honest. Politicians don't have to do what we say. That's what you're doing. You're setting yourself up to fail again in the next election. Look, let me put it to you frankly. All you people who stayed at home during 2012, you set yourselves up for your candidate of choice this time not to be nominated. It's your damn fault. I'm telling you right now. You better hear, you better witness to this, because when you don't vote, you are capitulating to those that you do not want. And everybody else sees, well, if they don't get there, we're not even going to bother with them because they're so fractured, we can't win their vote anyway, so screw them. And you're never going to get the candidate that you want. You are never, ever going to get the candidate you want because you are capitulating to the lowest denominator available. When you don't vote, when you don't participate, when you don't demand better. And how do you demand better? You demand better when you keep voting. You can't demand a damn thing when you don't vote. You can't get the best possible available if you don't vote. Plain and simple. You libertarians have to fully understand this. The libertarians and the real hardcore conservatives are the reason we have Obama. And you're probably saying, oh my God, how the hell is that possible? Because you kept your little butts at home during the 2012 election because you didn't like Romney. That's why. That's why it's your fault. Because your candidate of choice didn't win and you went, I'm not going to vote. Well, thank you very much. And I can guarantee you, because you didn't vote in 2012 and you didn't make your voice heard in 2012, your candidate of choice this time is not going to get the nomination either, because nobody's going to pay attention to you because they know you're going to sit it out anyway. They don't trust that you're going to show up. They do not trust your. Look, this is the whole point. People are wondering, well, why isn't the Republican Party paying attention to us on the conservative side? Because you do not make yourself heard. You are not demanding excellence. You're saying, well, we are, Rod. No, you're not. Because you sit your little butts at home whenever you don't get your way. And when you don't get your way, I mean by you don't get the candidate that you want. They do. Those in leadership on the Republican side do not trust you. They do not believe in you. They believe that you will let them hang out to dry. So when they capitulate and they do all this stuff that we on the right hate, and we call them rhinos, and they continue to do this thing, we have to, well, why are they really doing this? Do they really want to be Democrats? Most of the rhinos, no. But they look at you and say, you know what? You stayed home last time. We don't know if you're serious. You're probably not serious when you're telling us that you want us to do this and not compromise. And we're saying that we need to compromise so we can try to get something done. If you don't follow all the way through, if you do not keep demanding excellence, you're going to get mediocrity. Every single freaking time. So the reason why, and look, folks, I'm telling you right now, my prediction is that Rand Paul and Ted Cruz are not going to be the nominee. One of them are not going to be the nominee for the Republican ticket. And they're not going to be the nominee because the money and the support is not going to be put behind them, because those of you who do support those two candidates, you're going to whine and throw a temper tantrum if they don't get the nomination, and then you're going to sit your little butts at home during Election Day in 2016, and those in power will look and say, see, we told you we couldn't trust you. So we're not going to pay attention and listen to anything you have to say. Your candidate of choice, we don't trust you're going to come out and vote for him even if we do nominate him. We don't trust you. You've been too inconsistent. You've let us down before. And we don't think this guy has enough wide appeal that if you don't support him, he's definitely not going to win. And we don't trust you to support him. Why? Because you won't support anybody else. And they're afraid that if Ted Cruz or Rand Paul just says one thing that you disagree with, you guys are flying off the handle and you're leaving him in the wind. And they're going to say something that you're going to vehemently disagree with. No, I'm not saying that all of this is right. I'm telling you this is humankind, human nature, and this is the way it is. Plain and simple. You know, I heard Mark Stein, who's often who often guest hosts for Rush Limbaugh, and he's often a guest on Sean Hannity. I heard him once say, he looks for a candidate that he believes agrees with 75 to 80% of the time, because he's not going to find that 90 or 100% candidate. Because even if he did, he's going to be a fringe guy that nobody else is really gonna go for. So 75 to 80% of that I agree with. That's the candidate that we want, because we're not going to get everything we want. And he says, you know what? I never look at a candidate based on one singular issue. No single issue candidates. Because that's nonsense. That's nonsense. That's just stupidity. It's illogical. It's just stupid to base your vote on a single issue. Because what happens when let's just say that issue gets resolved the first year he's in office. Then what? Yeah, the rest of what he believes in, becomes very apparent. Or you could say, well, what if that one single issue never comes up during his entire term in office? Even though maybe he pushes it, but it never comes up. What are you going to do? What are you going to do the rest of it with all that time? Oh, yeah, that single issue now becomes a moot point, doesn't it? So never decide on a candidate based on a single issue. I don't care what that single issue is. There has to be multiple issues, and you have to be able to find yourself agreeing with them on their policy on those issues 75 to 80% of the time. That's how you will find a candidate that you can support. Not by being a single issue or being an extreme believer in that, if this guy doesn't get the nomination, I'm not voting, I'm staying home, Jack. That's the worst thing you can do for this country, as it has been proven. I mean, you can't stay at home. Not to mention, it just doesn't make any sense, and you're avoiding your civic duty to get out there and vote, and to get out there and pay attention, and to get out there and know who all the candidates are, and to and not to accept anything less than the best. No mediocrity, folks. No mediocrity. I mean, I'm going to be hammering this and from now until November, Election Day, November 2016, because it's that important. Speaking of important, what I originally wanted to, the road that I wanted to go down this evening was, here's a WTSP.com story, otherwise known as 10 News. WBTV out of South Carolina, York County, South Carolina. A high school in York County is speaking out after students protested Thursday morning, when a senior said he was asked to remove an American flag from his pickup truck. Yes, you got that right. A senior was asked to take down the American flag from his pickup truck. You know, if you've... I guess it depends on where you live. If you live in like New York City or something, a big city, you're probably not going to see this. But if you live in smaller cities, small towns, rural America, you will probably see people driving by every once in a while at least with the American flag and possibly, your state flag attached to their vehicle. It could be it's most of the time it's pickup trucks, but sometimes it's cars, regular sedan type of cars, not trucks, that drive by with these flags on them. And it looks cool. It kind of makes you stand and feel proud when somebody drives by like that. But you feel this instant kind of camaraderie with the driver. But at the same time, this kid does the same thing, and the school tells him to take it off. Take it off your truck. Now, the Thursday morning, several students, parents, and veterans protested the incident, many setting up across from the school grounds and waving flags. Now, a veteran, Michael Douglas, yeah, I know, but he's a Vietnam vet, so it's not the movie star Michael Douglas. Vietnam vet Michael Douglas said, "When I hear that you can't fly the American flag, it makes my blood run red, and my blood is red." In other words, he was kind of angry about it. So just before noon on Thursday, officials at York Comprehensive High School said Peyton Robinson and other students could keep the U.S. flag on his vehicle as long as no driving hazard exists. Now, the last time I checked, your school department, your high school, is not the Department of Motor Vehicles. How would they know what really constitutes a hazard? If it was a hazard to have this flag on his vehicle, you better believe that the state is going to, or the Department of Motor Vehicles is going to come up with a law or a regulation that prevents you from flying a flag on your vehicle due to safety hazards or safety reasons. But look, there's laws now on the books in many northern states that says if you don't clean off your car and snow flies off and hits another vehicle and causes an accident or damages another vehicle, you are fully liable. So clean off your car. Clean the snow off your car. No more of those people riding around with stuff on their hood and their roof. No more trucks being able to run around with ice that these flat sheets of snow and ice flying off the top of the trailer at highway speeds and doing serious damage and even injuring other motorists behind them. No, that can't happen anymore. That's illegal in many states. You will get fined. You will, and possibly even have criminal charges filed against you. So, if there's something that is not safe, and let's face it, if it's a teenager driving, teenagers driving, they have even less rights than the rest of us. Adults, cell phones must be hands-free. But if you're 16 or 17 years old, you can't use a phone at all. Even if it's hands-free, you can't. Not allowed. You're going to get in trouble, lose your license. Yeah, a lot of states, first offense, a driving offense, moving violation offense, your license is yanked, and usually until you're 18. Doesn't matter if you do it when you're 16 or 17, they usually yank it until you're 18. Because they deem that you're not responsible enough, you're not mature enough to drive. So if this is the case, and if this is that bad, that the school thought, well, geez, we want safe kids to drive around safe, then the state Department of Motor Vehicles would have already taken action. This is not a rare occurrence, by the way, of flying a flag, American flag, on your vehicle. Why this? Well, we know because the school, even in South Carolina, schools are run by a bunch of liberal libtard idiots. That's why. Now, parents who were part of the demonstration call the decision a win. Actually, it's not a win because that's not something that we should have to try to win on. I mean, think about it for a second. When you're looking at going after excellence and being the best you possibly can be and looking for the best in others that they have to give, does it come across that you should look at something that should already be a regular notarized fact as a win? It's not. It is not a win to be able to, to exercise your constitutional rights. That's not a win. I know we look, again, it's this kind of downgrading of what we believe is the best. Now we're starting to settle for winning by keeping a constitutional right. You have the freedom to worship. Yeah, that's a win, man. Why is that a win? You already had it. You already owned it. It's not a win. I mean, it's already a loss that you have to defend yourself for that. It's already a loss when you have an American school telling an American student that they cannot fly the American flag on their American registered vehicle on American soil. And people are saying, well, it's a win because he can keep on doing it. No, he never should have been told he couldn't. It's a loss, folks. It's a huge, humongous loss. He never should have been told he couldn't fly the flag. Notice they didn't tell him he couldn't fly any other flag. And the kid, you see pictures of it on his truck. He's got the American flag and what appears to be the South Carolina state flag. They didn't tell him to stop flying the South Carolina state flag, but he couldn't fly the American flag, and that's why everybody was protesting. And when the school backs down, everybody says, oh, we got to win. No, you freaking lost as soon as the school said to take it off the truck, because they never should have said, because those people on the Board of Education and those people in the school running the schools should never have been hired. Never. So you folks down in South Carolina and all across this country about flying the flag, let me tell you something. You think you're winning a battle because you get to keep doing something that you were already guaranteed to be able to do in the first place. You lost. We all lost. This is not a win. And until we start understanding this and start reversing it by demanding excellence, we're going to continue losing, and then we're going to start not winning these cases. We're going to lose them. Then are you going to say, oh my God, we lost? No, you lost long before when you started allowing this crap to happen in the first place. It's not a win to be able to keep something that you already have. You shouldn't have to defend something that you already own. Understand that.
Daenerys Targaryen. She says she is the mother of dragons. But would you trust her with your kids? Her father was a maniac. She palled around with Dothraki terrorists. She asked the city of Karth for a government bailout. Then she lost 3 baby dragons after placing them in an unlocked wooden box. An unlocked wooden box. This Khaleesi wants to be queen of the 7 kingdoms, but can she be trusted? Daenerys Targaryen. Wrong for dragons. Wrong for the realm. Paid for by the Committee to Protect Dragons.
We don't know anything about him.
He was never really vetted. Is he really the true-born son of Robert Baratheon?
All over the 7 kingdoms, people are asking the same question. Who is the real King Joffrey? The people of Westeros are hurting. Winter is coming. Crop yields are falling, and the price of fuel is going up.
The cost of peat moss is through the thatched roof.
And this young and inexperienced king takes advice from a whoremongering imp and has launched an illegal war in the north. What is King Joffrey hiding? This is not our kind of family values. King Joffrey. What a bastard.
What a bastard.
Paid for by the Baratheons for freedom. Robb Stark. He's the biggest celebrity in the North. But his father was a traitor. He arrested his own mother. His bastard brother deserted the Night's Watch. And he couldn't defend his own castle. Worst of all, Robb Stark hasn't stopped the wildlings from invading our lands and taking our jobs. He even has an illegal alien for a nanny. And now he wants to be king in the North? King? Some people say he's really a wolf. Some people say he eats dead people. We can't wait until it's too late. Send a raven to Winterfell now and tell Robb Stark to go back home. Stop eating dead people and defend the damn wall. This ad paid for by Crossbows GPS.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
When you can't find anything to watch on cable, you get bored. When you get bored, you listen to radio cooking shows. When you listen to radio cooking shows, you invite a friend over for dinner. When you invite a friend over for dinner, you use twice as many beans. When you use twice as many beans, you expel deadly farts that kill your friend's dog. When you kill your friend's dog, your friend becomes unstable. When your friend becomes unstable, you're sued for everything you're worth. When you're sued for everything you're worth, you're thrown to the streets. When you're thrown to the streets, you devote your life to world domination. When you devote your life to world domination, you become an evil fascist overlord. When you become an evil fascist overlord, old friends plot their revenge. When old friends plot their revenge, you are shot in the back of the head. And when you're shot in the back of the head, you miss your jazzercise appointment. Don't miss your jazzercise appointment. Upgrade to Indirect TV. Go online or call 1-800-ERECT-TV.
Millions of Americans every day are shedding unwanted pounds by taking tested and proven Ultra Lipo Stick. Carbohydrates are bad, bad. Our carbo-fighting antioxidant is good, good. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My name is Gail, and I lost like 20 pounds on Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Jared, and I lost 46 pounds using Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Zach, and I actually gained weight. This stuff sucks!
Ultra Lipo Stick is safe and easy to inject. Just 3 doses 4 times a day discreetly underneath your fingernail. Listen to this.
I used Ultra Lipo Stick and suffered from side effects like uncontrollable greasy discharge.
Ultra Lipo Stick, it turned the armpits of all of my shirts orange. This stuff is crap.
Try it today and see some real results. Ultra Lipo Stick. Not available in stores. Results may vary.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
You know, I really got to tell you, I really love my opening theme. It is awesome, and that's a shout out to the person who actually created it, and I've been using it since probably about 2009, 2010. Shout out to TC. TC! You heard. That's he created it especially for me. And I got to tell you, I love it. I don't care what anybody else says about it. And when it comes to my show, it's about me, plain and simple. I always, I've had people tell me time and time again, oh, yeah, your format sucks, or this sucks, that sucks. I'm like, great, start your own show. One thing that people have to understand is the reason why I wouldn't get elected is because I do not care what other people think about me. I am going to stand on what I believe to be the factual, logical truth. Pure and simple. I do not care what other people think about me. See, the only people that count to me as far as, meaning anything to me and what they think are people that are close to me. And 99.9999% of the people out there who listen to the show are not close to me, so they don't count. Even if nobody listens, I would still do this the same way because this is the way I want to. I'm the type of person that will, actually, this is, I like this format because, and a lot of people like it, is because I actually do not hold back my passion for what I believe in, and I believe firmly in this country. Plain and simple. This is not fake. This is all natural, folks. This is, I'm not putting on a show here. You're getting the real Rod Eccles every time you tune in. Every time. Speaking of tuning in, hello, my fellow Americans, and all of my fellow liberty-loving folk around the globe. It is I, your lovable host, Elrod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. It is Friday, free-for-all Friday, May the 15th in the year of our Lord, 2015, which means that you can dial toll-free 603-835-3224 and tell me whatever's on your mind as long as it's clean. Indeed. And, I got to tell you, continuing from the last segment, that last story, it kind of gets my goat up, folks. And I get passionate about this stuff. And some people, they kind of like the type of cadence that I get going on. And I got to tell you, it comes from, it's heredity. My grandfather on my mother's side was a Reverend Southern Baptist preacher. And let me tell you, that man could preach. He could preach the gospel. So I like to think that I got a little bit of how I do things from him. And some people have likened my tirades, if you will, to that of a Southern gospel preacher. And frankly, it's not that I do it on purpose, but it is not done. It is not by accident, because it's in me. It's ingrained in me. That's who I am. I'm not trying to be something. I'm not, some of these fake, phony preachers that you see on TV that all they want is your money. Not me. So when I'm talking about this story, especially today, about, this high school student, well, let me continue with this. This is from, again, WTSP.com, 10 News. It looks like CBS. This is what the school said. The school. This is what the school is saying. This is their response to the demonstrations of them, people demonstrating against the school for telling the student needs to take his flag off his pickup truck. This is the school's response. Now, please pay close attention to this. This is the school's response. Did I mention this is the school's response? And you wanted to, after hearing this, if you still want to tell me that those people are right in saying that they won something, then you need your head examined. But here it is. Due to the outstanding display of patriotism through peaceful demonstration, it is apparent to us that many are not happy about this policy, meaning no flag on the American flag on the pickup truck. The school district posted this policy on their website. Now, school officials have reviewed the standing policy regarding flags and have decided, the school officials have decided that an exception will be made for the American flag as long as the size of the flag does not create a driving hazard. Now, excuse me before I use profanity here. Who the hell does a school think that they are? Their only obligation and responsibility is properly educating our kids. It is none of their damn business what that kid does off of school property. Period. I hear all this stuff about bullying on Facebook and these schools are starting to clamp down. It's not the school's business. They can't freaking teach our kids in the first place. They're running around telling us now that this kid, we're going to measure your flag because you're a student here. And so when you're driving this damn truck off of school property, you're not going to be able to have the flag because we, the school, deem that it's not safe. Who the hell do they think they are? Their job is to educate that child. Period. If the state and the Department of Motor Vehicles does not seem to think that that flag is causing a problem or a safety hazard, the school definitely has no business having any kind of policy about it whatsoever. Period. This is nonsense. It's a freaking high school, people. They don't have a right to tell you what you can and cannot fly. None. They don't have a right to tell this student, we think it might be a hazard. Too flippin' bad. Go to your DMV and make your complaint. It's not your job nor your responsibility to determine how people drive is safe or not. I know they get this way, but hey, we have driver's education, don't we? Big freaking hairy deal. You don't administer the driver's test. You don't tell people whether or not they can have a license. You do not have the right to make laws. You're a school. Your job is to teach, not to interfere in somebody's personal life. I mean, let me read this to you again. Due to outstanding display of patriotism through peaceful demonstration, it is apparent to us that many are not happy about this policy. And you still want to tell me that getting the policy reversed is a win? No, you lost the moment they decided to post that policy on the school website because the school just decided through fiat that they could demand that somebody follow their rules and policy when not in school and when not on school property. It's a loss, folks. Wake up! It's a loss. Because you think that they're going to give up on this? Oh, hell no, they're not going to give up on this. If they do not want to see an American flag flying on school property, they are going to come up with another policy on another time, and they are going to get their way. It is a loss that they even think that they can get away with it in the first place. Do you understand this? It's a loss, not a win. And it's a loss, not a win. And the only reason we think it's a win is because we're accepting mediocrity. We're not expecting the best that this country possibly has to offer in the areas of education and politics. Because if we were, we would have told that school district, if they even thought about doing such a thing, we would turn every single one of them out and they'd be on the unemployment line. But instead, what happens? Oh, we settle for demonstrating across the street from the high school, and when they back down, we say, yay, we won. Are you freaking kidding me? It never should have happened. Never. Not in this country. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. That's not a win. Now, the school continues. We appreciate the passion and pride of all those who called or come by the YCHS over the past 24 hours. America was founded by patriots who You do not believe in patriotism. They are pandering to you when they say this kind of BS. Because if they believed in patriotism, they would never have made a policy like that. Never. Because what do they think patriots do? Patriots who have led positive change in a myriad of ways. It's positive change to be able to uphold and exercise your constitutional rights. That's change. How is that positive change to be able to keep your constitutional rights, to be able to exercise what the founding fathers already said you had? How is that positive change? Can somebody tell me? How is that change? It's not change. Plain and simple. I mean, this is demagoguery. It's ridiculousness. It's just utter liberal stupidity that they would have the gall and the gumption to even think that they had the ability and the wherewithal and the responsibility and the position to tell you whether or not you can fly the American flag on American soil when you're an American citizen. Did I miss something? Do you people not understand? Are you not hearing me out there? I mean, look, if you're a liberal, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I know that's a dumb question, but it's rhetorical. Because I know you're not hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth. I know you're not understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth. Because you don't want to. You don't want to. Plain and simple. Look, you gotta start, and you gotta remember just to expect or to not accept anything less than the best. The best you can afford. This is by far not the best we can afford. In fact, this is so bad that it is more expensive than the best that we can afford. We can't afford this bad. It's that expensive. We can't continue affording. We can't afford less than the best. We really can't. It's kind of like free. We can't afford free. There's everybody can have free health care and free this and free that. We can't. Free's too damn expensive. We can't afford free. It's just, I'm sorry, it's not affordable. Not today, not yesterday, not tomorrow. It is just not affordable. I don't know how we ever came to the fact that we thought that we could afford such a thing. Free. I guess because everybody says, well, it's free. That means nobody's paying for it. Well, that's not true. Somebody has to pay for it because nothing is free. You know what's free? There are some things in life that are free. You know what's free? Air. You can walk outside and breathe as much as you want. You can stay inside and breathe as much as you want. You don't got to, unless, of course, you're filtering it. Well, then you got to pay for the filter. But other than that, air doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Air is free. That's it. There's nothing else on the planet that's free. I mean, even water really isn't free. You got to pay for it somehow. And if you go and drink straight out of a stream without filtering it, you'll probably end up paying for it in the bathroom or in the emergency room. So even that's not free. The only thing, even your food, if you are a farmer and you grow your own food, none of that's free. You had to pay for the seed to start it. You had to pay for you had to fertilize it. You had to put in time and effort in order to get the thing to grow to the point where you could harvest it. And then you had to harvest it. You had to spend your time. See, you don't even really have to spend any time to breathe. The only thing in life that's free is air. You can get the air while you're sleeping. You don't have to do a darn thing to get air. You just breathe. So even what you can't farm while you're sleeping. You're sleeping. Only farm while you're awake. You got to spend time at doing it. You can't do anything else on this planet without spending time doing it. Breathing air is the only thing that doesn't cost you a thing. That's the only thing on this planet that's free. Just so you know. Because I know a lot of people talk about free. Free this, free that. Free, I want free health care. I want free unemployment benefits. I want free lunches, and I want free food stamps, and I want free this and free that. Because everything is free because, I don't make a lot of money. So everything has to be free for me. And nothing is free. Somebody's paying for it. Even when you think that you're not paying for it, you're paying for it. Because, there are taxes that you still have to pay, even though if you think that you are you don't have to pay taxes because, you make too little. Don't think for an instant that you're not paying taxes. And see, this is the problem with having a poor education. Poor education is a direct result, people thinking they can get things for free is a direct result of poor education. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You go ahead and you think that if certain things are free, because you're not making enough money, so you think that the government is going to pay for all this. Understand this: the government doesn't pay for anything. The government can't pay for anything. The government doesn't have any money. The taxpayer pays for everything the government does on a daily basis. It's the taxpayer who's footing the bill, not the government. The government doesn't have any money. It's the taxpayer who's doing it. We don't live in a fiefdom or a kingdom anymore where the king goes out and attacks another country and raids that particular kingdom's a treasure house and brings the booty back. We don't do that anymore. So it's not like the government can just decide, well, you know what, we're gonna attack China and raid them, and not only will we take them over, but we'll raid their treasury and take all their gold and silver and precious gems, and we'll add them to our. This is not a Smog's. A dwarf keep full of gold. I mean, nothing is for free. Somebody's got to have to pay for it. And the only reason that people believe that stuff is free, that they're not paying for it, even if they do not have an income, a regular income, a private income, is simply because of poor education. And we have poor education because we have educators who are more concerned about whether or not the flag that a student is flying on their vehicle is a safety hazard or not, when it's not the school's job to worry about safety hazards on the road. Their job is to educate that student properly. And, it takes money for them to administer certain types of things and programs. And this is one of those things. The school district has got to take time out to respond to all of this negativity. They've got to take time out to say, okay, we get it. We're not going to force you to adhere to this policy. We're going to rescind this policy. We just want to make sure. How are they going to make sure that the flag is too big for safety? They're going to have to go out and they're going to have to take measurements. They're going to have to measure. Every student who wants to have a flag on their vehicle, they're going to have to go out there and measure it. And then they're going to have to determine, well, how big is too big? They're going to have to spend time and study. And try to figure, and now all that costs time, which costs what? Money. Money that who pays? The taxpayer. This is not free. This is not in a vacuum, folks. It is time that they're taking away from educating our children in those schools, because somebody is not paying attention to what's being taught in school because they're too busy paying attention to what flag that the kids are flying on their vehicles when they pull into the school parking lot. Or even when they're not on the school parking lot. Don't look, folks. This isn't about free. It's not a win. It's not a win to be able to do something you should already be able to do. Don't doubt me.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
603-835-3224 is the number to call should you wish to join me here live on the Rod Eccles Show. So if you want to, just get on your phone, your landline, your cell phone, your satellite phone, any kind of phone. Well, pagers aren't phones. So any kind of phone that you have. Your phone! Get on your phone! Give me a call. I'll take it. Hey, Geraldo Rivera is speaking out about the recent acknowledgement of George Stephanopoulos, Steffi Stephanopoulos' admittance to the donating $50 to $100,000. I think the total came out to be like $74,000 or $75,000 to the Clinton Family Foundation. Yeah, that's right. He said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to disclose it." But Geraldo Rivera is saying, "Hold on a minute. Point of order. We're talking $75,000 here." Geraldo comes out swinging, saying, "This same ABC that George Stephanopoulos is on and didn't disclose donating $75,000 to a political candidate's family foundation fired me over a $200 donation." And that's right. This is being reported by Newsmax. By the way, for those of you who haven't heard and really want to pay attention and want to know, Johar, however you pronounce his first name, basically the Armenian version of Joseph, I do believe, Tsarnaev, has been sentenced to death. Now, I'm sure some people are jumping up and down, yay, and I'm kind of agreeing with the decision. However, there is no celebration for two reasons. One, because I think it's sad that we even have to get to this point where this young boy, and he's still he's not even 25 yet. This boy is going to have his life cut short by the state because he did a horrendous act. And people are saying, well, he did that, so we don't care. No, it's still sad that his life is going to end in this manner. It should not have. For whatever reasons that he is giving or that he believes that he did this, he shouldn't have had those beliefs. He shouldn't. And thus, it should not. And some people are probably thinking, are you going soft on terrorism? Absolutely not. I'm saying that when it gets to that point, it's sad that that happens because those involved are usually very young people. And they have been manipulated and brainwashed into believing something and doing something that no human being in their right mind would normally do unless somebody was coercing them over and over and over to do. And it's a sad ending to what could have been a promising life, but it never will be realized. And yes, I think it is more inhumane to lock this kid up for the rest of his natural life without the possibility of parole because he's going to have to be put in solitary because he can't be put in the general population because he will suffer in the general population before he's eventually killed. That's not right either. The other thing is that you should not be jumping up and down for joy about this is that the appeals process is going to last for years. The kid's going to live in prison, most likely in solitary confinement, until he's at least 40 years old. Don't doubt me. This is what happens to most death row inmates. They get appeal after appeal after appeal. It takes years. This is no longer the Old West. Okay, you're guilty. Next day, you're hung. No questions. That's it. Sorry. We don't do it that way anymore. This is not a kingdom. You don't go before the king and the queen, and the king says, "Okay, you're guilty. You at sunrise tomorrow, you will be hung until dead, or your head will be chopped off." We don't do that anymore. We have near endless appeals process for a number of different things that his attorneys will be using over the next decade to 2 decades to keep him out of the electric chair or whatever Massachusetts means that Massachusetts is going to use to execute him. That's just the way it is. So it's not a win. And some people are looking at this is a win, man. This is not a win. Not a win. It's a loss for everyone. It's a loss for the American people because now we've had some of our freedoms taken away. Like you can't go to the Boston Marathon anymore with a backpack. What the hell? I mean, some people will never go to the Boston Marathon ever again. They won't run in it. They won't go to watch it because for fear of maybe they're going to get bombed and killed again someday. So their freedom to enjoy something like this has been taken away. So there is no win in here. We all lose. We lost the moment we didn't pay enough attention and stop him from doing the deed. As soon as those bombs went off, we all lost. There is no way to win. Sorry, there's not. Because the world has forever been changed since that day. And you could say, well, we could win by being able to go back to where we were before. That's a win. We should never have left the way we were. We should never have veered off that freedom road from where we were before they bombed the marathon. So getting back to that road is not a win. It's not a win. But anyway, so there you go. He's I've commented on it. Tsarnaev has been convicted of many counts of grievous crimes, and he's been sentenced by a jury to death. Meanwhile, Geraldo Rivera is out there saying that he was fired by ABC because he donated $200, and he wants to know why George Stephanopoulos is being treated so differently by the same network. Because, Geraldo, you were driving off the reservation, and Steffi is firmly implanted on the reservation, not moving. That's really why you were fired. They were looking for a reason, a plausible reason to get rid of you, and they found it because, you fell into their trap and didn't give them what they wanted 100% of the time. He says, Rivera says, in 1985, after 15 great years, I was fired by ABC News. The official reason for my firing was a non-disclosed $200 donation to a family friend in a nonpartisan mayoral campaign in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Now, if you're giving to somebody in a campaign in New Bedford, what do you mean it's nonpartisan? Yeah, of course it's going to be partisan. That's why you got fired. But they were looking to get rid of you anyway, Geraldo. So you just gave them an excuse. There's a difference right there. You gave him an excuse. Don't give people an excuse. But this guy, Stephanopoulos, he has nothing to fear. Look, look, they want to bring back Brian Williams after Brian Williams admitted to lying about major stories. So Steffi's like, I'll just tell him I forgot to disclose it. I forgot. Well, I don't know how you forget to do such a thing, but evidently it's working. He forgot to disclose it. That's all. But Geraldo, you weren't on the liberal plantation. Look, you're like a regular contributor to Fox News. That proves that you are not on the liberal plantation with all the rest of the three other networks, especially ABC. Even back in the day, I'm surprised John Stossel is still employed by 2020 on ABC. Frankly, I believe John Stossel is just straight as an arrow. He doesn't deviate. Although I believe Stossel aligns himself with being a libertarian. I may be wrong. I'm not positive on that, but I think that's what he has said before. My memory could be failing me on that particular part, but I do believe that's how he views himself, as more of a libertarian. Which, I have friends of mine who kind of remind me and tell me and try to compare many tenets of libertarianism with the tenets of liberalism. And sometimes it's kind of hard to differentiate the two. I got to admit that. Sometimes it really is. And I know there are libertarians that listen to this, and they are probably going to be pissed off that I just said that. But hello, I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth based on the facts as I know them. All I can say is, if you think I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Give me some information. Give me some facts that will change my opinion. That's the only way I'm going to change my opinion. Is if you give me new information that's different from the information that I have, and it is more overwhelming and more credible than the information I currently have. The information I currently have kind of says that in certain aspects, and I'm not going to point out every little aspect, but in certain aspects of the tenets of libertarianism and liberalism, you're the same. For instance, liberals will often chastise Republicans. Libertarians will often chastise Republicans. I have yet to really hear libertarians really chastise liberals. Liberals don't usually chastise liberals, so why aren't you libertarians equally chastising and chafing liberals when they're doing far more damage than the Republicans are? I'm just asking. So, no, I'm not a libertarian. Sorry, I'm not. No, I'm not sorry. That's just not who I am. And I know that there are people out there that support libertarianism, but I do not. Because I think either you're liberals in disguise or you're just nut jobs. Now, there are some libertarians that are true and honest, and I usually say that when I find those true and honest libertarians, I say, you're really not a libertarian, you're a constitutional conservative like me. But they claim that they're libertarians. So, who am I to say that who they are? They can determine who they are if they want. And that's Geraldo is basically not a liberal. Well, he's not a true conservative, but he's not a liberal. So ABC was looking to get rid of him, and yeah, hey, lo and behold, he gave $200 back in 1985, which is $200 today is nothing, but $200 back then was a little bit of a something deal. It wasn't huge, but it was a big enough deal. And he didn't, for whatever reason, he didn't disclose. I don't know his reasons for not disclosing it. But he didn't disclose it. In other words, even with his possible salary back in '85, $200 might have been enough that you did not notice. You would miss it if it wasn't around. And again, maybe not. 85. What was I? No. You definitely would have noticed $200 in '85. My book, you would have. But so he says, hey, they fired me over $200, which even in today's numbers doesn't come near 75 grand. I mean, $200 today might be worth, let's just say tenfold, is worth $2,000 today. So basically, I got fired by today's dollars at $2,000, and Steffi gave 75 grand for not disclosing it, and he's still employed by ABC, who, by the way, fired me, Geraldo says, for $2,000, which was really an $85, $200. But that's basically what he's saying. And he's got a point. Not often that I agree with Geraldo Rivera, but he's got a point. And this might answer the question for Geraldo, actually, because here on Politico, there's another story that's related to this. Clinton Foundation donors include dozens of media organizations and media individuals, not just George Stephanopoulos. That's right. NBC Universal, News Corporation, Turner Broadcasting, which is CNN's original TBS, Turner Broadcasting System. That was who I couldn't... Ted Turner. was his name. I couldn't remember his last name yesterday for some reason. Knew I'd find some way to remember it. But Turner Broadcasting and Thomson Reuters are among more than a dozen media organizations that have made charitable contributions to the Clinton Foundation in recent years. So says the foundation's own records. I mean, and some people are probably now going, what? Look, folks, when I told you that the left was in bed with the left media was in bed with the political left, some of you still doubted me. Well, here proves unequivocally that I, Rod Eccles, once again was 100% correct. I wasn't alone, by the way. No, I'm not even trying to suggest that I was alone. All of us commentators on the right probably told you that this was happening. But here's the proof. Records. The donations, which range from the low thousands to the millions, provide a picture of the media industry's ties to the Clinton Foundation at a time when one of the most notable personalities, George Stephanopoulos, is under scrutiny for his previously undisclosed $75,000 contribution. Well, all of these other outlets are not telling you that they're donating to the Clintons as well. And yet, they're running this protection racket for the Clintons. Some people are wondering, well, why aren't there more stories on this, Rod? Wait, well, here's your answer. Because they're fully 100% behind them. They support them. They're protecting them. The list also includes mass media groups like Comcast, Time Warner, and Viacom, as well as a few notable individuals, including Carlos Slim, the Mexican telecom magnate, and largest shareholder, I might add, of the New York Times Company. You know, the one that owns the New York Times, that once owned the Boston Globe. And James Murdoch. Who's James Murdoch? The chief operating officer of 21st Century Fox. Both Slim and Murdoch have given between $1 to $5 million. What? And we're worried about Stephanopoulos' undisclosed $75,000. We have media figures giving figures, even foreign media figures, giving 6 and 7 figures to the Clintons. Now, Judy Woodruff, the co-author and managing editor of PBS NewsHour, gave $250 to the foundation's Clinton Haiti Relief Fund back in 2010. PBS, folks. PBS! You know, the station that runs This Old House and the Children's Television Workshop's most powerful in program and popular program, Sesame Street. PBS. Oh, yeah. You know, Big Bird is supporting the Clintons. Oscar the Grouch is supporting the Clintons. Grover is supporting the Clintons by giving them money. And Elmo supporting the Clintons. I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand and realize that they're being hoodwinked on a daily basis by the lamestream media, which is why some people, including me, have said that journalism is dead and has been dead for quite some time. And which is why, you folks out there who always lament Fox, I want to ask you something. Fox has never been called out on contributing to anyone. And very few Fox News or TV personalities have ever been called out for donating to certain candidates or causes without disclosing. They haven't done it. But here we have media firm after media firm after media personality after media personality on the left. And we didn't know what they were doing. And Geraldo is dead on. Look, I got fired for $200, which, maybe equates to $2,000 today. And this guy over here is Stephanopoulos. Somehow, the same network, exact same network, gets away with $75,000. Well, I don't know. And even in today's modern liberal math, $75,000 is still a lot more than $2,000. Now, here's another list. We have Carlos Slim, James Murdoch, Newsmax Media, Florida-based conservative media news network, gave to the Clinton Foundation. Now, some people are saying, well, Rod, this is why we don't really, even conservatives are like giving to these people. Well, Newsmax gave to the Clinton Foundation. Thomas Reuters, owner of the Reuters news service, gave to the Clintons. And we're talking, the names that I just listed gave between $1 million and $5 million. These next two gave between $500,000 and $1 million. Google and News Corp Foundation. The philanthropic arm of the former Fox News parent company, News Corp. So all you people out there who Fox News, man, their former parent company gave to the Clintons. Houghton Mifflin Harcourt and Richard Mellon Schaaf, owner of the Pittsburgh Tribune Review, gave between $250,000 and $500,000. Abigail Disney, Bloomberg Philanthropies, Howard Stringer, Intermountain West Communications Company, all gave between $100,000 and $250,000. Bloomberg LP, Discovery Communications Inc., George Zuckerman, Mort Zuckerman, owner of the New York Daily News and U.S. World Report, Time Warner, all gave between $50,000 and $100,000. AOL, HBO, Hollywood Foreign Press Association, presenters who are presenters of the Golden Globe Awards, and Viacom, all gave between $25,000 and $50,000 to the Clinton Family Foundation. And here's something: these organizations gave between $10,000 and $25,000 to the Clinton Family Foundation, the Knight Foundation, nonprofit foundation dedicated to supporting journalism. And the Public Radio International, Turner Broadcasting, still the parent company of CNN, and Twitter. And the list goes on and on and on and on, as they say in New York City, in Long Island. Folks, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, Huffington Post Media Group gave between $250,000 and $1,000. The Washington Post gave between $250,000 and $1,000. I wish I could make this stuff up, folks, but I can't. And seeing how that I can't, and I won't, because I'm out of time for today. For the week, actually. We'll be back here next week, folks. So be here on Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. Have a great weekend. I'm out.